What's up, my fabulous love bug goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen. How to cook. About to turn this thing up. Jamaican Sunday morning breakfast recipe in my kitchen. Wow, fast, easy, and simple. If you're here watching me cooking for your first time, be sure you subscribe, goodie, and turn on your post notification settings to be reminded every time your girl upload what a brand new video. So, let's cook.
In my eyes, you're a star, girl. Hey, she fit me, and she give me love plenty. Yeah, she authentic. This are the real thing. This are the
Okay, goodies, let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. Jamaican Sunday morning breakfast recipe, step by step. Let's just jump right into it. Now, you're going to need your cabbage and your carrots and onions, scallion and thyme, garlic, bell peppers, and of course your Scotch bonnet pepper. You know your girl don't like no pepper business, but we are going to have to put flavor into this thing, right? Now, we're going to get a combination of everything because the Sunday morning thing we're talking about in the kitchen right now. We are going to go in with some dumplings, and we're going to use flour for that, and sweet potato, which is yams, you might call that here in the US. And then we are going to go in with some dasheen. Now, we're going to talk about the saltfish. I'm using my Jamaican saltfish right here, but if you don't have access to that, just grab any kind of saltfish you can find on the shelf. Now, to prepare it, you can soak it overnight, right, goodie? If you don't want to go through all of that, let's go ahead and cook it for 30 minutes. At 15 minutes into that process, you throw that water off, you put fresh water, and you boil it for another 15, makes it 30 minutes, and you're good to go. Now, while we have it go on there, boil up, make it just go on up with the vegetable because everything will go step by step so you can have this thing fast, easy, and simple. Now, we are going to cut up our cabbage. I like my cabbage not cutting too small and not cutting too big. I like my cabbage kind of crunchy when I'm in fact eating it. I always go around the cabbage and I leave the belly of the cabbage like right there. So just leave the belly of the cabbage because I don't like it into my cabbage recipe because it makes it tough. And just discard that. We're going to go in and cut up the carrots, and the carrots is optional, but I love carrots in my veggies. And when I'm making cabbage like this, I always put carrots into it. If you like carrots in your thing, let me know down below if you like that. Then of course we're going in with our bell peppers, and of course you could always switch up the colors that I'm using here, but I just love the color that it gives my food. Look pretty on the table, right? Go in and cut up my onions and scallion and thyme to the mix, right? Because we want this thing to have flavor, all veggies and flavors. You could also use chopped garlic in the bottle, but I'm using fresh whole garlic right here, and I use 2 cloves of garlic to the mix. And my Scotch bonnet pepper. I pause up with it, but the girl don't like it today, girl don't like it one bit. And that is our veggies right there, all prepped and ready to go. Now moving right along, now that it's been 30 minutes total that my saltfish has been cooking, what I'm doing here, I'm just running it on the cold water to settle it off and get it ready to pick up the saltfish. As mama would have said, pick up the saltfish, right? You want to make sure you clean it up real good, take the outer skin off. When you get done picking it up, that is what your saltfish is going to look like. We are just going to set it aside and we're moving on to the next step, right? Now we're going to cook up the food. In our pot, you're going to go in and add some water to it, and make sure that your water is boiling before you add your food to it. Now I'm in here, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I did add a teaspoon of salt to it to give my dumpling them flavor, right? Flavor we are chat about Sunday morning thing, flavor goodie. Now all I'm doing here is gonna go in and add cold water. I love to use cold water when I'm making fried dumplings or anything dumpling because it gives the dumplings a nice texture to it. Now, and you manage it better, right? So this is what I'm doing here. So I have 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of cold water. icy cold water. The colder the water is the better the dumpling are gonna feel in your mouth. So this is what I'm doing here to get my dumpling the way I like it in my Jamaican kitchen. Now, when you knead dumpling really good, I guarantee you the texture of the dumpling is going to be so refined and it's not lumpy. Now, if you feel the texture and it's still feeling kind of hard to the touch, just put the water in your hand just like I'm doing here and sprinkle it on the flour because you don't want to spoil the texture of the dumpling, if that makes any sense, right? And that is what your flour look like, right? Your dumpling them look, yeah, perfect good. Set it aside. Now we're gonna go ahead and put them things in. So to flavor it up, just add a pinch of salt, a little bit of salt, right? Add salt to the water, just like so. And then you just want to go in and put your food of choice, your odd food of choice. This is my food of choice. You could use yam, yellow yams, soft yam, renta yam, any kind of yam. I'm using dasheen in a mine, dasheen and my flour dumpling. That's all I needed this morning in my kitchen. But put whatever you want, go there, anything you want, sweet potato, Irish potato, whatever you want in there, but make sure you have your dumpling. It's all about your dumpling on Sunday morning for breakfast. Now, this should cook up in about 40 minutes because make sure that the flour is cooked thoroughly. Cover it up nice and tight and allow it to cook. While it cook for the 40 minutes, now it's time to cook the cabbage because we want to make sure when that food is cooked, everything is cooked at the same time. I did go in and add a little bit of oil to it, maybe about 2 tablespoons of oil, becoming a warm thing greasy. And then I did go in, add my cabbage and my veggies of choice on top of that goodness right there. To that, I added about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we want to give this thing flavor, but we don't want to use too much salty seasoning. So I went in with some onion powder and garlic powder, some black pepper, of course, to turn it up a notch. Now, some of the seasons here you could substitute what you have. I'm going to be using my combo season and my Jamaican all-purpose season for sure. Now, a lot of people like to use the complete seasoning. You could use that if you have it. And some people will also use salt-free season because the saltfish has its salty flavor already. So what I did use the salt-free seasoning to it, a little bit of that Jamaican all-purpose seasoning, and the brand that I'm using is the Grace. And of course, your girl love our vinegar. I'm gonna cook not without my vinegar. I'm obsessed with my vinegar, so I put about a teaspoon of vinegar in there. Make sure that you are in fact drinking your vinegar goodie in your teas, in your juice, and in your food. Make sure you intake your vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is better, organic, if you have it. Now all I'm doing here, I'm going in and give it a good mix, and then put my saltfish on top of the cabbage, just like that. You don't want to mix it all in, just leave it unbuttered and cover it up right there, just like that. Easy, right? Easy and simple. Now about 10 minutes in, you want to go back in, and that is what it's going to look like on medium heat only. Medium heat only. The cabbage is going to produce its own moisture, so do not add any water to the cabbage. Just be sure that your lid is nice and tight and your stove is in fact turned on low to medium heat, not high heat, because you are going to burn your cabbage. That looks okay and so good. Okay, smelling oh so yummy right there. Now we are going to allow it to cook some more because that's been only cooking for 10 minutes. You don't want to overcook your cabbage because your cabbage will be sagging, but that is the texture at a close glance what it looks like after 10 minutes of cooking. So you go ahead, put your lid back on, and when we go check that food is done after 40 minutes of cooking. Perfect Sunday morning dinner. If you're still watching me cooking good, make sure you subscribe and turn on those post notification settings so you won't miss an upload like this boo. That is perfect, and that is all done. Your cabbage is finished. Saltfish and cabbage in my kitchen on Sunday morning. Yes boo, done to perfection. Look there, done to perfection. It's going to take only 20 to 25 minutes to cook on low to medium heat. 10 minutes first, cover it up, give it another 15 minutes, low to medium heat, and your cabbage is done. And when I put it on the plate, honey, it was fast, it was easy, it was simple, and the thing was turned up with oh so much flavor. This takes me back home when I used to run boat with my friends them at Jamaica. Those was the good old days. This was one of the best breakfasts you could ever eat on a Sunday. When mama make this a breakfast for you on a Sunday morning, it's like you was in heaven's land. Nice and hot on the plate with a nice hot cup of cocoa tea on Sunday morning. All so good. Spread the love with friends and family goodies. Tell them what's going on up over here. Bring them, come, send them, come. Now, tell me what you like to have me cooking next in my kitchen. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy!